Alright, let's talk about corruption, folks. It's a word thrown around a lot, often with a knowing smirk and a shrug, as if it's just an inevitable part of life, like bad traffic or lukewarm chai. But here's the thing, corruption isn't just some abstract concept discussed in hushed tones, it's a silent thief, picking the pockets of ordinary citizens every single day. At its core, corruption is the abuse of power for personal gain. Seems simple enough, right? But its tentacles reach far and wide, impacting everything from the roads we drive on to the hospitals we rely on, and the schools our children attend. Think of it like this. Every rupee lost to corruption is a rupee stolen from public services, from your future, from your children's future. It's the reason why that pothole never gets fixed, why that school building remains dilapidated, why essential medicines are always in short supply. This isn't just about greedy officials lining their pockets, although, let's be honest, there's plenty of that going around. It's about a system that allows such behavior to flourish, a system where accountability is weak, and transparency is about as clear as a glass of lassi after you've dropped your phone in it. Let's get specific, shall we? Imagine a healthcare system where doctors prioritize patients who offer bribes over those in genuine need, where life-saving medicines vanish from hospitals, only to reappear on the black market at exorbitant prices. That's corruption at its most insidious, directly impacting the well-being of the most vulnerable. Then there's education, the supposed bedrock of any nation's progress. But what happens when teachers are forced to pay bribes to secure their jobs? Or worse, when students are forced to pay to pass exams? The very foundation of meritocracy crumbles, replaced by a system rigged in favor of the wealthy and well-connected. And let's not forget infrastructure. Remember that bridge that collapsed a few years back? Or that highway that seems perpetually under construction? Corruption in infrastructure projects means substandard materials, inflated costs, and shoddy workmanship, putting lives at risk and draining precious resources. Now I know what you're thinking. This is all very depressing, John. Can we please have some lighthearted panda videos now? And look, I'm all for panda videos, but these issues hit close to home, and it's important to understand the human cost of corruption. Consider the story of Mrs. Sharma, a widow who had to sell her only piece of land to pay a bribe to get her late husband's pension released. Or the young entrepreneur, driven to despair because he refused to pay off corrupt officials and lost his business as a result. These aren't just isolated incidents, they are the everyday realities for countless Indians. Remember that time you had to pay a fee to get your driving license even though you passed the test? Or that time you had to shell out extra to get a gas cylinder delivered on time? That, my friends, is corruption in action, nibbling away at your hard-earned money, eroding your trust in the system and leaving you feeling frustrated and powerless. Section 4. Beyond the headlines, corruption's impact on your wallet. Okay, enough with the doom and gloom, let's talk about something we can all relate to, money. See, corruption isn't just a moral issue, it's an economic one. When resources are siphoned off illegally, it impacts everyone's wallet. Think about it, higher taxes, fewer jobs, inflated prices for essential goods and services. These are all consequences of a system riddled with corruption. It discourages foreign investment, stifles innovation, and prevents us from reaching our full potential as a nation. Remember that time you had to pay a bribe to get your electricity connection fixed? Or that time you had to grease someone's palm to get your child admitted to a good school? That's your hard-earned money vanishing into thin air, money that could have been used for your family's well-being, for your children's education, for your own dreams. Section 5. Fighting back. Demanding transparency and empowering change. Now, I'm not one for motivational speeches, but here's the good news. We're not powerless in this fight. We can demand transparency from our elected officials, hold them accountable for their actions, and support initiatives that promote ethical governance and accountability. We can start by educating ourselves about our rights and responsibilities as citizens. We can use the power of social media and technology to expose corruption and hold those in power accountable. We can support organizations working to promote transparency and good governance. Remember, every one of us has a role to play in this fight. We can't afford to be passive bystanders shrugging our shoulders and accepting corruption as the norm. We need to raise our voices, demand better from our leaders, and work together to create a more just and equitable society. Section 6. Technology to the rescue. Can blockchain break the cycle? Now I know what you're thinking. John, you've been talking for ages, and I still don't know how to fix this mess. Well, hold your horses, because alongside the good old-fashioned methods of protest and accountability, there's a new sheriff-in-town technology, specifically blockchain. You know, that thing everyone's talking about but no one seems to fully understand? Well, imagine a system where every transaction, every contract, every government tender is recorded on a secure, transparent, and tamper-proof ledger. That's blockchain in a nutshell. Think of it as a digital watchdog, sniffing out corruption before it even happens. With blockchain, we can track public funds, ensure that contracts are awarded fairly, and make it much harder for corrupt officials to operate in the shadows. Section 7. Your voice, your weapon, a call to action. So there you have it, folks. Corruption is a complex issue, but it's not insurmountable. It starts with each one of us demanding better, raising our voices, and refusing to accept corruption as the status quo. Educate yourselves about the issue, report corruption whenever you encounter it, and most importantly, vote for leaders who prioritize transparency and accountability. Remember, the power to change the system lies in our hands. Let's work together to create a future where corruption is not just condemned, but eradicated. A future where every rupee is accounted for, and every citizen has an equal opportunity to thrive. Here's an innovative idea. What if we provided small government officials with better salaries and incentives? A business bonus, for instance, 30% of their salary, could allow them to start personal ventures, reducing their reliance on corrupt practices. Think of it as a way to empower them while discouraging bribery. If you found this video helpful, please subscribe, like, share, and comment below. Together, we can make a difference.